Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pop Go the Writers. Jim's got his pop there. You're from the Midwest. Is it pop?
Yes. Yes, I'm from Ohio. It's pop and always has been and always will be.
Yeah, it's soda here, but no R, soda.
It's soda out east from here. It's like in New York, it's soda. And then into the south, it's Coke.
I've never been a big Easter guy. Never, when I was younger, we did the baskets, we did the church thing, but
Mhm,
I didn't get raised in a very religious family. I'm
mhm.
the grandson of a Baptist minister. So by the time I came along, my dad was like, I don't want anything to do with it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've never done a lot for Easter.
Mhm.
Back when I was doing model photography, I actually did photo shoots on Easter Sunday. I mean,
Yeah.
but today, if I was ever going to go to hell for anything, I spent the afternoon on a video game with Lisa killing zombies, and I'm like, killing those that have come back to life.
Well,
How appropriate for Easter.
some people consider the Christ story to be the ultimate vampire story. So
Yeah.
whatever.
I got an entire convention center hall to turn on me.
Dan, we haven't known each other for that long, but it doesn't really surprise me. It really.
We were talking. I was on a panel talking about zombies and stuff, and I was sitting next to Arthur Saddam,
Mm.
and um, I lost him, and then I got him back. I lost him by talking about it. I said, well, if you think about it, then Jesus is really the first zombie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Arthur's like, you're on your own, buddy.
Or vampire, zombie or
Yeah.
vampire.
But I got them back by telling them about the short story I had just written about a zombie detective set in the 1950s called The Stiff Dick.
I can't do better than that tonight. No.
I ended up working that character, dropping the title, but working that character into the third Lucius Fogg novel.
But that's the best title ever.
It is. And if I ever do a solo book,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
I was raised Catholic, I was baptized Catholic and went to a Catholic grade school and was a choir boy and an altar boy and all that stuff. So we were very steeped in all of that. But I didn't enjoy Easter because as a kid, all through my childhood, I was allergic to both chocolate and eggs. So Easter didn't really mean anything to me as far as the stuff that everybody else got.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, and ice cream. Yeah, it was a real fun childhood because my older brother and sister could have all that stuff, and I couldn't. Halloween was not that fun. Halloween was we got home, we dumped our bags, and my father and mother saying, "Okay, Jim, give all of your chocolate to your brother and your sister." It was like it was half my bag right there.
Did they return the favor by giving you the Zagnuts? And
Hell no. There was no return of favors. No, my brother and sister were my abusers for the most part.
So I'm thinking, what, Payday, Abba Zaba, Zagnut,
Jelly beans.
jelly beans. There you go.
Jelly beans, basically. um, um, there was this one thing that I liked, and shoot, I can't think of what it is now. It was these little fruit pieces that were in a little white tray. Damn it all, I can't think of what those I liked real well, but but it's okay. I can do all that stuff now, and I celebrate Easter in my own special way.
Well, before we get on our topic tonight, I have a related story I thought was kind of a heartwarming story.
We need that.
If you've watched the Clone Wars or The Force Awakens, there's a particular droid that pops up named R2KT. It's like an R2D2 unit, but it's pink.
Oh, yeah. I know this story. It's a heartwarming story.
Yeah. So for anybody who's watching who doesn't know this story, it has to do with the 501st Legion, the guys that dress up as stormtroopers and stuff and go to all the conventions. And by the way, they're an awesome crew.
Yeah.
It's more than just guys who like to dress up. They will, if you're doing a Star Wars themed wedding, they'll show up and give you a big thing of stormtroopers. I know Jim Ballant, the artist, married his wife in a Star Wars theme. He was dressed as Darth Vader, and the 501st gave him an honor guard that he could walk down the aisle to.
Wow.
Yeah. And when in The Mandalorian, that in the first season, when Moff Gideon shows up and he has all those stormtroopers with him, a good majority of those people were the 501st who showed up in their own uniforms because the budget wasn't there to have that many stormtroopers.
That's an amazing story that they got the 501st because their outfits were just as good as anything Lucasfilm would have had, or better even maybe.
It's the same thing with Carson Tevia's character, Paul Sung-yi, I think it is. The guy who plays Carson Tevia. He had his own costume already and had met one of the actors on the show. I think it was the director, Deborah Chow, and she put him in contact with, and it got that whole thing, and that's how he ended up on the show.
Amazing.
We were fans of Kim's Convenience, which is where he's from.
Okay.
Along with Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi. So those are
and now Ken. Now he's playing Ken.
Yes, but the heartwarming part of the story is, and it's a sad part of the story too, is the main armorer guy, the costume designer for the 501st, had a daughter who was diagnosed with, I believe, brain cancer, and was going to pass away. And as she got sicker and sicker, she told her dad that she wished she had an R2 unit or an R2D2 next to her, like Padme had. Well, her dad mentioned it, and it got pounced around to the guys who create these R2 units that also go to conventions. You see them driving around.
Yeah, they're the R2 builders.
Yeah, the R2 builders. Yeah. And they crafted a special one, and they called it R2KT, for her name was Katie. And they gave it to her. And then when Dave Filoni heard about this, he brought the character, he put the droid into the Clone Wars, and then it then got carried over into live action movies.
Well, where is it in Force Awakens?
It basically it services Princess Leia.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look. It's in the Resistance base.
Yeah, sure. It's in the group shots and stuff. I don't think it has a lot of screen time, but it's in like the background and stuff.
Sure. But, I mean, being pink, it would have pulled some focus there, obviously. But okay, that's cool. I'll look for it the next time I watch.
Yeah, but I saw that just a few minutes ago, and I thought, oh, that's a great story to open.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Is Katie still with us?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay. All right.
Because it was put into the Clone Wars to honor her.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk about.
Let's please talk about something more happy.
Okay.
Ouch.
Well, let's see. There was so much news this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I was joking to you before we started about too bad there isn't anything to talk about, when really there's too much to talk about, and I don't know how you'll ever pick a place to start.
Yeah. Let's first start with The Mandalorian, the latest episode. It was quite the episode, and I know I'm so tired of the online reaction to things. All the BS out there. There were people complaining, "Oh, Jack Black in the episode is going to ruins it and stuff." And I'll admit, I saw Jack Black. It took me out of the episode for a second because he's Jack Black.
Yeah.
But
do you know what I tweeted right after I started, for some strange reason, to read the reactions to that? I tweeted, "Show me on the Grogu doll where the Mandalorian hurt you."
Yep. Now,
Why I bother, I don't know. I have hope for my people, and then they disappoint me every time. I had no idea it was so horrible. I thought it was really cool and fun and everything, and then I found out that I was wrong.
Yeah, I would like to have him to do a little more serious. He was a little bit too much Jack Black,
Mm-hmm.
but all right, I don't have a problem with it. It didn't destroy the episode for me. I thought Christopher Lloyd was awesome.
Yeah, me too.
And
Lizzo.
The thing about Lizzo, and I almost feel bad about this, I didn't know who she was.
I didn't know. We're in that together there, brother. I had no idea, other than I had a strong suspicion that she wasn't an actress. Other than that, I thought maybe she's somebody, maybe she's supposed to be somebody, but I recognize Jack Black and I recognize Christopher Lloyd, but yeah, I had to hear and find out about her.
Well, the thing is that I've heard the name Lizzo. I know.
See, I don't even think I heard the name.
I've heard the name. I know a musician. Other than that, if you put her in a lineup by herself, I don't think I could have picked her out.
No,
because I and that she plays a flute. No idea.
She's a flautist, right?
Yeah,
they have flute music that plays in when they come into that scene with her.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're famous for playing music with a flute, and everybody knows your name,
good
on you.
Yeah.
And if you love Star Wars and they offer you it, if they called me up and said, "Hey Dan, do you want to guest star in or you want to do a cameo in a Star?" Hell yeah! Where do I gotta go?
Yeah.
Marvel? Yep. Hell yeah! Where do I gotta go?
Yeah, I'm hoping the guy from Jethro Tull can be, in an episode. What's his name? Ian Anderson, I think.
Yeah. Is he still alive?
I have no idea. I just pulled that one out of somewhere. If we're just gonna have a bunch of flautists, be guest stars on Star Wars, but yeah, you know what? It didn't harm me at all. I don't have to use the Grogu doll to show you where it hurt me. And I saw the relevance in everything that was going on. There was some important stuff there, and I think it's gonna play out as we go along too.
It was a good bonding moment for Din and Bo-Katan to work together without Grogu and just and show their differences. And I think in a lot of ways we're setting it up that the two of them are going to be the ruling force of Mandalore.
I think so too. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it also set up that the people of Plaisir or whatever are going to help the Mandalorians. They're good at domes, cities in domes. The Jack Black character is an engineer before he became, ruler of that world. And then it also reinforces the whole thing about the former Imperials. It also showed that there's still separatist feelings in the galaxy, and that those people can be dangerous. It was so many different things, but if you just take it on a surface level, and you're stupid, then that's that's all you're going to get out of it. But I think that everything they do has a reason, and then you know what? It always kind of ties together at the end. At some point, they tie it. They say, and you go, "Oh, that's why they did that. That's why they had that in there."
Well, anybody who's doing stories nowadays on this kind of stuff only works in superlatives. It's either the greatest episode or the worst episode.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're not going to, hey, there was a decent episode of Mandalore. Hear me talk about it.
Yeah.
But that was the greatest episode ever. Well, if you thought it was a good episode, you're going to read it going, tell me why I'm right.
Yeah.
And if somebody says, it's the worst episode ever and you liked it, you're going to go, well, wait, what did I miss? And it no longer are people talking about things or giving any type of actual insight into these things.
Yeah.
They're just doing the extremist views.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I pull this line out more and more: the negativity as a proxy for insight, and that's what it's become.
Yeah.
You know,
And also to get your 15 seconds of fame on the internet. I don't even believe half of the contrary stuff that's out there, because I think that what I'm seeing is I'm going to go against the tide. I'm going to say something provocative, and then I'm going to get my 15 seconds of Star Wars fame, and then I get to do it all over again with the next episode or the next whatever.
yeah.
I don't even think half these people really care what they're saying, that they're not really that incensed about it all. But there's some ridiculous stuff out there. We'll get into it a little bit with some of the other news, but there's one in particular. A guy said something, and boy, did he get dogpiled on. And it's not the guy who thought George Lucas was dead. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, a guy said, he put up a picture on Twitter of Jack Black and Lizzo from the episode, and he said, "What the F is going on with Star Wars? George Lucas is rolling in his grave." And he got thousands of hits of
Wow.
people schooling him about George is still with us. And not only George is still with us, but also that how similar the themes are still going on, that everything that George did, it's all, those Star Wars themes are still there and still happening, no matter that it's Disney or whatever.
Well, see, I look at it this way. Do you remember when Andor was coming out? And everybody was talking about how that's the boringest season ever. This is horrible. Nothing's happening. It is terrible.
Yeah. Right.
Now, the Mandalorian starts coming out and going, Andor's ruined this for us. Andor was so good, and this horrible writing.
Hail Andor. Andor is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. No.
Yeah, it's like
there's no pleasing them.
Yeah, they hate it at the time, then they hate the new thing, but the other thing was better,
Yeah. And Dan, and I've said this before too. It's the whole thing with now the prequels are beloved.
Yeah.
Now Hayden Christensen can do no wrong, where once he was reviled.
Ahmed Best.
Ahmed Best is the next big. I can't wait for the I Love Jar Jar era that we're probably heading into that. And I hope to God Jake Lloyd gets his due finally. If Hayden Christensen can be worshipped now, surely Jake Lloyd will get a cameo maybe in Star Wars if he even want to do it. But Ahmed Best, there's your example right there.
Yeah, I mean that guy who came online and said, what is Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau doing, bringing in this guy? Why don't they bring in someone we actually care about? Not knowing who Ahmed Best was, just saw this Jedi, and he got so just attacked online, and it's like, okay, first attacking people online is the problem. Stop it.
Yeah.
Educate the guy. Don't attack him.
Yeah. The good thing is we just had 2 whole days of almost unadulterated Star Wars love because of Star Wars Celebration. So that was really nice, because there was some negativity, but very little. It really almost was that everybody was truly celebrating Star Wars for 2 days, and some of the news got almost 100%. I'm so excited for this thing, and that was really cool to see.
What fascinates me is that this weekend there seems to be this fine line they've been able to walk, especially when it comes to Ahsoka. Because when they cast Ahsoka, they went with a fan favorite idea of Rosario Dawson. All the internet, I mean, there was a bunch of stuff on the internet putting her as the character. But there was also a backlash because, well, why didn't you just use? I think her name is Ashley Eckstein. Eckstein or
Eckstein,
something.
yeah.
Eckstein. Why didn't you just use her?
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing this weird balance between bringing in the actual the voice actors to do the live action and then recasting.
Hmm.
And it doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason going on. It's like, well, we got a new Green Wren, but we got the same guy to do Zeb.
Yeah, yeah,
We got a new Hera,
yeah.
but we're going to give you the actual voice actor for Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah. Oh, but you know what? Now, didn't you hear about that though? Lars Mikkelsen, he's totally wrong for the part. He has no gravitas, and he's completely wrong for the part, and we just can't understand why they went with him. And it's really they really effed it up, and
Oh,
it's because it's Disney.
yeah. You know what's funny?
Mm,
For a while there, some of the names that they were talking about for who should be cast,
hmm
Benedict Cumberbatch was one of them, which I thought was funny. But
Hmm.
they wanted the guy that played Jyn Erso's father in Rogue One.
You mean Lars Mikkelsen's brother?
Yeah, Matt Nicholson. It's like, okay, first, he's already been in Star Wars.
And somewhat recently.
Yeah, somewhat recently. And second, he's his brother. So,
do you have any problem with Lars Mikkelsen playing it in live action?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
The one thing that no one's complaining about is there's actually an actor who's going to be playing a different role that he's already played. Chioma Satumi or something?
Yeah.
The guy that plays Chewbacca?
Yeah. He's playing a different Wookiee.
Another Wookiee.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Can't give other tall guys a shot? You know, we got a different actor to play Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
Couldn't get another actor to play a Wookiee. No, got to bring back the same guy.
You know, that guy's what happened with him is like the perfect way for him to have come into Star Wars. He took over a beloved character from a beloved actor, but there was a crossover.
Yeah.
And that beloved actor was there to advise and help the new guy take over the part. They crossed over for one movie, and then Peter, got way too weak to be able to play it. But I love that story. I mean, it's the perfect handover, where that doesn't always get to happen. I'm hoping that happens somehow with Anthony Daniels. I was just having a big discussion with somebody the other day about Anthony's not going to be able to do this forever.
Right.
And maybe what we can get is somebody will physically take on the role, but Anthony can continue to do the voice until he can't anymore, and there will be somebody then who can completely take over the role.
They'll probably end up doing the same thing they did with James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones just sold his voice to Lucasfilms.
Okay.
So they can digitally create any dialogue they need, sampling from his past work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like they did with the Luke Skywalker and Mark Hamill stuff. Okay.
So there's a good chance eventually it'll be Anthony's voice, but
I love how Anthony wants to do C-3PO for everything, but he's not going to want to get into that damn costume forever. I can't see him being 90 and still, fitting into that damn.
Yep.
God love him.
Yeah. But so the Ahsoka Tano, the trailer we got is probably the only trailer everybody's seen.
Mm-hmm.
What got me excited was the most bizarre thing. Ray Stevenson.
Oh, does he play the Balin? Is that
Yes.
yeah. Who
I have,
everybody thinks is Joris
yeah,
Kaboeth or whatever, but
yeah,
I mean, it's probably like an analog to that, but it's not the same character as, you know.
right. Because they mentioned the name Heir to the Empire, but they're not doing Heir to the Empire.
Yeah. And
But they're probably going to pull some of the feel to it.
yeah.
But
I feel bad for the people who make this stuff because they plant something in there just to give you a little thrill, to harken back to for the old school, you know, people. But then everybody takes it wrong. Oh
yeah,
my God, they're doing Heir to the Empire. They can't possibly do Heir to the Empire. There's no Luke Han or Leia, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, all it is just like it's like an Easter egg, you know,
yeah,
and it's
exactly.
appropriate for today. Just take it as
Exactly.
that and stop worrying about it.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that one of the parts, because I didn't watch Rebels, two things. I was super happy for Rebels fans
Yeah.
because I'm looking at this and I'm going, and I know who the characters are, and I'm going, oh my God, there's so and so, so and so, so and so. It's like, you guys are so lucky you're getting all this cool stuff. I think personally, what I was really intrigued by was Balin's like assistant or whatever she is, Padawan or whatever.
Shin, I think is her name.
Shin, yeah. That, and you know what's funny is because in Japanese, Shin basically means new.
Yeah.
Like she's the new one or whatever. She looked really cool and badass,
Yeah.
and they have orange lightsabers. You know, I'm really intrigued by what that's all about.
Yeah.
I am hoping that Ahsoka is not overshadowed by all of this other stuff, you
Right.
know. But boy, did it look good and exciting, and it's like wall to wall Jedi stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. I really do.
By the way, hello, Ed. Good to see you.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah, normally he's on Facebook, and he comes in as Ed on Facebook.
Okay.
So,
hey, Eddie, we will accept your apology this time, but just don't let it happen again because you will be fined.
we but the thing with Ray Stevenson is he was in Rome, which I loved, you know, and then seeing, you know, from there he went on, he played the Punisher in War Journal. He's Volstagg in the MCU. He's been
Isn't
on
that great?
Dexter. He's been on Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
He was in one of the G.I. Joe movies as Firefly. I mean, the guy has been everywhere.
Yeah.
And to see him pop up and like, there it is. I think now he just needs to show up on an episode of Doctor Who and as a James Bond villain, and he's got the trifecta.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait. Has he been in a DC product?
No, he hasn't. So he needs
Okay.
that.
Well, then he needs to be like Deathstroke, the Terminator.
Oh, he would be an awesome Deathstroke.
Yes. Thank you, Dan. Every once in a while, I have a good idea, right?
Yeah, he would
Every
be an
once in a
awesome
while.
Deathstroke.
Hey, Andrew.
Ed says he has a note from Epstein's mother, if that would help. I think just the Welcome Back, Kotter reference there gets him off the hook.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Andrew, good to see you.
I understand that reference. I got that one. I was there. It really happened. It's all true.
But yeah, I was really excited for that series.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I'm really excited for, surprisingly, is Skeleton Crew, which originally, when it was pitched, was, oh, it's Jude Law in space with a bunch of kids. I don't know if that's going to be. But by the way, first thing, when I said at the beginning of the Mandalorian season, when we saw those pirates, maybe they were being introduced, the one that left, Vane, is going to be in Skeleton Crew.
Which I take that means that you watched that illegal footage.
No,
the same
I saw a write
that
up.
I did.
No, I just saw a write up. I didn't see the illegal footage. So, but if you want to admit to crimes
I'm
online,
sorry.
it's up to you. I said, if you want to admit to crimes online, that's up to you. But no, I did not watch that. I read a write up describing it.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
I will admit,
honestly,
I did actually watch that and the Acolyte footage, but I did not get to see the Andor footage.
yeah, we are getting so many Jedis now.
Yeah, really. Oh, it's Jedi overload. See, that's all they can do. It's all, and I'm getting so sick of those space wizards. It's not
And just
all
last week, they're like, we could use a Jedi up in here somewhere.
I mean, originally Star Wars was not, Jedi, Jedi, Jedi.
Yeah. Disney is oversaturating Star Wars. I don't know about that.
I oversaturate me, baby. I want to bathe in it. I want to soak in it. I want to Ahsoka in it.
And the fact that they're covering such a diverse thing, I mean, the movie's coming out. We might as well mention those. One's going to take place in the beginning of the Jedi Order. One's going to take place in this Mando verse, as somebody referred to it today as, this current era. And then the other one's going to take place 15 years after the rise of Skywalker. So it's like they're all Star Wars, but they're such a different, diverse area.
Yeah.
And they're all going to take a while to get to.
Did you have Daisy Ridley returns as Rey 15 years later on your Star Wars Celebration Europe bingo card?
I did not.
I didn't.
Yeah, I kind of thought, well, it's the Kevin Feige thing. So you didn't like that. We'll make you like it. We're going to double down on it.
My favorite comment was this. Oh no, they're making the sequel trilogy canon now. Dan, swear to God, that's almost verbatim. I can't believe they're making it. They said, well, that's it. I guess it's canon now. Yeah. You think?
If we got 2 Star Wars series and 1 movie a year, I think that would be a good pace.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially if they're covering different areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one are you most excited for of the 3?
Good question.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's a tough one.
Of the 3 movies?
Yes. Yep.
I'm kind of excited for the James Mangold one the most because it's an era we've never dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
It's the start of the Jedi Empire. Mm-hmm. And James Mangold is so freaking good as a writer and a director. You look at the stuff he's done, even the comedic, and Kate and Leopold.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the movie Kate and Leopold. Didn't know it was him. He's doing Indiana Jones. He did Logan. I'm excited as hell for that one.
Sadly, that's the one that I'm least interested in. I need, like Rebellion era, or at least the prequel era, or where we're at right now. And because I never got interested in any like Old Republic stuff, and I'm not following the New Republic or the High Republic stuff. I think my concern with that, and I'm going to go see it. I mean, it's Star Wars, but in a way, that's my concern, is that I'm concerned that there's not going to be, that I'm not going to get enough Star Wars-ness. I mean, it may be like they don't have lightsabers yet, or maybe at the very end of the movie, they create a lightsaber or something like that. I mean, he said he was excited because they do get to pretty much create everything from the ground up, and I can see that. I'm hoping it won't be like a science fiction film, but not necessarily a Star Wars film.
No, I have a feeling. I have a feeling it'll be a Star Wars film. I've read The High Republic, the first novel. I've got the second one I've been meaning to listen to, but really, Charles Soule did a great job with the novel. I haven't read like the young adult versions that tie into it as well.
Yeah.
But I really liked what they did with the first novel. It's So much so that I listened to it and I went, "Oh, I got to get a copy of that," and went out and bought a hardcover.
Charles wrote one of my most favorite Star Wars series of all time, and that was the Poe Dameron series. Him and Phil Noto. That was, to me, it was just an amazing series, and I really loved it. When it comes right down to it, Dan, it's the Daisy Ridley Rey movie that I think I'm most excited for. I love her in the part. I do really want to know what happened after the end of Rise of Skywalker. And then not too far behind that, I'm interested in Dave Filoni's movie. And before I heard it, I said, wow, I wonder if he's going to use that to kind of tie things up. And sure enough, that's what it's supposedly going to do, is that he's going to have one big blowout of everything that we've been, working toward. So, but yeah, I want to see who else might be in the Rey movie. I'd be surprised if Oscar Isaac would do it.
And I don't think
John Boyega
is going to come back.
No,
because he talked about how he just he wasn't happy with how his character. Now, if they come to him and go, "We're going to change your character and make it better," and this is it.
Three things: time, tide, and money. But yeah, I think that they could, if they really want him, they're going to go to him and they're going to sit down and then they're going to say, John, what will it take as far as, do you want, character script input, whatever. We're not going to have the same, issues that we had before. And you know what? It would make sense for Finn to be in it more so than Poe, being that we got that strong hint that he's Force sensitive.
Yeah.
At the end of Rise.
I think it would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will actually be weird if he's not in it.
Yeah.
But can they convince him to come back? That's the key.
Yeah.
So my problems with the sequel trilogy had nothing to do with Rey, had nothing to do with Finn or Poe. I thought they were all good characters.
Yeah.
The fact that they didn't seem to have an actual through line they were planning was part of it.
Yep.
But I just felt that I was turned off greatly by the death of Han Solo and how they handled the legacy characters and how they kind of destroyed the happy ending that we got in Return of the Jedi.
Wait, are we doing this now?
Yeah, no, we'll save that.
Okay, because I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to go.
So those are the and I think Kylo Ren was one of the worst villains of all time.
Look, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything.
That's fine. So
somehow Palpatine returned.
And that's the whole point of the Mandalorian and everything else they're doing right now is to correct the fact that how Palpatine returns.
Yeah. Okay. Ahsoka, Acolyte, Skeleton Crew. Which one are you most looking forward to?
Ahsoka, because of Ray Stevenson.
I'm gonna go with Ahsoka, even though it's like all character. It's completely characters from stuff that I didn't watch. But Rosario sold me on the character, and I'm looking forward to seeing her back. It looks like she's doing like way cool things. I'm not even that excited about Thrawn, but I understand how everybody else is. Sorry, Timothy Zahn, I know you watch our show, but I never cared for those books, very much. It's, what, I can sort of not believe how interested I've gotten in Acolyte now. I didn't really think one way or the other about it. And now,
I'm excited for that one too, but I'm excited for it because, again, I love them exploring areas we've never explored before. I can sit down and watch the Rebels animated series and find out about those characters. So I don't have a burning desire to see them again.
Yeah.
But, Ray Stevens' character got me interested. I would have put it lower if it wasn't for the Balin character.
Stevenson. Ray Stevens was the guy that did The Streak and Guitarzan.
Ray Stevenson, right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
You know who I'm excited about in Acolyte is Carrie Ann Moss.
Yeah, there's another
Yeah.
one. You know, that
Yeah.
we get
And she's like, if you see the illegal footage, which I may or may not have watched, she's like fighting, like she's like a Jedi or something, and she's fighting some other person or and whatever. So
we
you
get
know,
a Wookiee Jedi, the second coolest Jedi ever.
that's going to be in which one?
That's in the Acolyte.
In the Acolyte, right? I had to think there for a moment. I don't know what to think about Skeleton Crew. I like Jude Law. I think he's going to be amazing. He's got a lot of charisma. I don't like stuff with kids in it. I really, really, really don't. The only thing that kind of gets me over that hump is that they said it's got a bunch of kids in it, but it's not necessarily for kids.
Right.
And I said, okay. And then they go and they say, oh, it kind of emulates all those Amblin Entertainment, films from the 80s. And it's like, well, Goonies was kind of for kids, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So make up your mind.
Star Wars was for kids.
Huh?
The original Star Wars were for kids.
Well, I know. And I was a kid, but.
Yeah. But I look at it this way. The thing that gets my attention, I didn't get to see any footage from that either. But I hear that one of the kids is the same alien race as Max Rebo, and I'm suddenly there for it.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, it's one of the kids is supposed to be one of the blue little elephant licking guy things. So I'm so there for that. So and that's kind of the fun about what they're doing with all this stuff is they're really tapping into these things that seem like background characters or stuff like that. It's like one of the things I love the most about the High Republic books is there's a Trandoshan Jedi, which to me is such a fascinating concept.
Yeah.
Because it's such a diverse just thought process. Trandoshans are like the Klingons of the Star Wars universe. They're all about honor. Their god is the scorekeeper. And you pay homage by killing, and the pelts of Wookiees and stuff. And I'm like,
But they won't bring Bosk into anything. The Trandoshan, the one that started it all, one of my most favorite Star Wars characters of all. And it's like, I sit down to watch Mandalorian and I say, today's the day. I think that Bosk is going to be in this one. And then they screw it again. And I don't understand it. They keep having all these other damn Trandoshans in there in the background and whatever else, but not the man. I just don't get it.
Did I ever share with you there's a online fan film that basically takes the plot of Predator, but they have it with Bosk?
Oh, really?
It is fantastic.
Okay. Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube.
What's it called?
Oh,
I mean, how should I search it?
It's something like Scorekeeper. While we talk, I'll look it up because I'll share it in that. It's even got a Boba Fett cameo in it too. It is fantastic. I loved it.
And by the way, Andor season 2, August 2024 is not acceptable.
Yeah, that is a long time from now.
Yeah, not acceptable.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
What? So it's called Scorekeeper?
Yep, I'm going to put the link in chat for anybody.
Okay, cool. Love it. So there was no hint of when these 3 movies were going to be coming out, right?
No, but I believe the Rey one will be the first of the 3.
I would think so. I saw a thing today that Kathleen Kennedy said that all 3 movies are very far into development, which, I'm assuming that means they could have finalized scripts, before.
Well, I know they just changed writers on the Rey one. I don't remember who exited, but Stephen Knight came in and is working on the script for that. James Mangold is writing his own, but he's finishing up and doing the promotion stuff for Indiana Jones 5 or The Dial of Destiny. I hate that title. any other word but dial. You know?
It isn't a very pulpy word,
Yeah.
No. I have to kind of agree with that. It's a little clunky, and I admit it. Destiny is great. Sure, you put, the door of destiny, or what, yeah, but dial of destiny, just yeah.
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 But and then Filoni is tied up with Ahsoka and all these other series. So
Yeah.
I think there's quite a bit more we're going to get. There's there'll be like a second season of Ahsoka and all this other stuff before we get to the culmination of all this.
Yeah.
So I think there's still a lot of groundwork to lay out.
So Acolyte is what, next year?
Yeah.
And Skeleton Crew.
Ahsoka's August of this year. Andor's August of next year. Skeleton Crew is it the end of this year, beginning of next year, and then Acolyte?
I'm not
I
so
don't
sure
know.
I heard that. You're saying Skeleton Crew is before Acolyte. I'm trying to remember what they announced had started
Acolyte's still
filming
filming.
first. Huh?
Acolyte is still filming,
Okay.
where I think Skeleton Crew is coming to an end.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think it's a little bit ahead, but I can't swear to that. So, all right.
Hey, and Mon Mothma in Ahsoka.
Yeah. Good for her getting a lot of work.
I know, really. Yeah.
The interesting thing for me was Andor. When they brought the cast out,
Mm-hmm.
they brought out Andy Serkis.
I saw that too, and I wondered that same thing that you're thinking. Yes.
Is Kino Loy going to come back?
Well, he's not dead as
I
far
mean,
as we
he
know.
didn't die. Yeah.
It is very interesting. Yeah. I mean, nobody like bring it up, or they didn't say anything like and here's our cast, and there's Andy Serkis standing there, and you assume that he's part of the cast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
why
know.
else would they bring him out, right?
Yeah, I mean, they don't normally bring out the actors from the previous stuff, do they? Well, I guess
Not that I've seen. No. Who wants to see that? They wanted to know who's,
Yeah.
There was somebody that was kind of really missing from a lineup of people, and everybody noted it. Shoot, now I can't think of who it is. They didn't actually have a Mandalorian panel, did they?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so they didn't trot people out then for
No.
Mandalorian. Oh, no, they did.
Sackhoff was there. Her and Rick Fuyama.
Yeah. That's what it is. And everybody was saying, "Where's Pedro?" And then they tried to make a big conspiracy thing out of it. That blah. It's like, well, you think you're just going to drop everything sometime? You're able to drop everything and fly to London, and
He could have just sent Lateef or Wayne and had them there.
Right. But yeah, that's what it was. Katie was there, but he wasn't, and now that means there's trouble in paradise.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because third season of Mandalorian is the worst ever. They have no idea what they're doing, and
I know.
It's making Book of Boba Fett look good, and Disney and Star Wars went downhill when Disney bought it.
Yes, this is really the grass is always greener.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh no! It's not that they just bought it. It was like a hostile takeover kind of a thing. And whoever said that, somebody had to remind them that George was the one who went to Disney and said, would you like to buy this? Because he believed that they would be okay. They would do okay with it. God.
Yeah. Just it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember when we used to just be excited to get new Star Wars?
Yeah.
And I mean, and I look about this as with the MCU and the DC stuff. And nowadays people feel like they have to come out and talk about it. Like there's a certain amount of ownership.
Mhm.
But if you're a fan of these things, then it's your responsibility. And it's like, you know, I do shows, and I do shows because, well, sometimes I get paid for them, and that's how I promote stuff. But
Mhm.
if I wasn't doing these shows, I don't think. I mean, I would probably go online going, "Oh, hey, I saw this movie, I liked it. I saw this movie, I didn't like it."
Yeah, I'm not even sure I'd go that far, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, or usually what I do is if I like something, I'll talk about it, and if I don't usually say it. And if people are paying attention, they will get the point that, oh, I must not have liked something because I'm not talking about it at all.
Right.
I
Do you know
mean,
what I've never done? I've never. Well, okay, mostly I've never done is go on the site, go on somebody else's page who said,
yeah,
"Oh, I love this," and I go, "How could you love it?"
yeah,
Well, it's
yep,
like that's why they do these things. Not everybody's going to like the same thing. That's why Baskin Robbins has 31 flavors.
yeah, right.
You
I have a
know,
hard and fast rule on my Facebook page is when I am enthusing about something, you do not walk in, you know, and say something negative, or you will not be around for very long. It's I equate it to somebody's having a birthday party, and you invite a bunch of people over, and everybody comes in, and you're serving the cake, and everybody's excited or whatever, and then that one guy walks in and starts to say, you know, man, that it's an ugly cake. Like, you know, where did you get that? Who the hell made that cake or whatever? You know what you would do? You'd punch that person in the face, you know. But they
yeah.
know that they can't get a punch in the face online,
There,
so they
there is
do it.
one
It's like,
there is one exception though. There
uh-huh.
is one thing that if anybody ever says something nice about, then everybody should go to their page and explain them why they're wrong. And that is the Prime Amazon Prime's version of the ABC murders that has John Malkovich slaughtering Hercule Poirot. It is literally the worst thing ever made.
Okay. I will take your word for
Please take my word for it because you don't
I
want to tell
am word to
Paul. This is back. I brought it up on another one back when Paul was the co-host, and he went out and watched it. He's like, it couldn't possibly be that bad. Bad. He came back the next week going, "Oh my God, it's worse than I thought." I'm like, yeah,
When was that from?
it's only a couple of years old now.
Oh, okay. That's why I only watch, other than Star Wars and Marvel shows, I only watch old stuff. I'm currently working my way through the Jeremy Brett Sherlock Holmes series, which is
Love
wonderful.
those. Oh my
Yeah,
God, I love those.
yeah. I'm almost through the first season of it, and I saw a couple of them back in the day, but you know, I sat down and I'm watching them one at a time, and he is just insane. He's
Jeremy Brett to me is the best Sherlock Holmes.
I know you know, even with me growing up with Basil Rathbone, you know, I'm saying, like, it's obviously as close as you can get to the Conan Doyle stories.
Yeah.
They
Now,
changed some stuff here and there, but it's pretty damn close.
yeah, I love the Benedict Cumberbatch series, but
Okay,
that's a modern take on it, and
sure,
he does a modern performance of it. And I
sure.
think he's great.
Hmm.
I enjoy the Robert Downey Jr. movies.
Yeah,
They're
so
not
did I.
quite,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
I enjoyed their take on them and Guy Ritchie and Jude Law.
Yeah.
And overall, most Sherlock Holmes stuff I enjoy.
Hmm.
I give them leeway. But if I had to pick the one, I think for what just the straight up best interpretation of Doyle are the ones that Jeremy Brett did.
Yeah, they really are. Yes, yeah, they're amazing. And I'm to understand that they switch Watsons
They
at
do.
some point. Yeah.
Yeah. And you barely notice.
Okay.
You really barely notice because they look close enough alike
Hmm.
that you really just kind of go, okay, oh wait, did they? Yeah.
And spoiler alert, and Jeremy Brett did not make it through the entire series, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't believe so.
They say that there's like a season where you can see that he's ill, he's not doing, they say, oh, he still, you know, does a good job and everything. I think I heard that maybe the last few stories they rewrote, so it's just Dr. Watson solving the mysteries.
I've watched all of them and I don't remember that.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'll find out. Like I said, I'm almost to the end of the first season, which is called The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and I'm almost up to his last bow. I can't wait to see Moriarty in this.
By the way, to me, the equivalent to Jeremy Brett as Sherlock Holmes for Nero Wolfe, if you haven't seen them, you probably have the A&E versions with Timothy Hutton as Archie Goodwin, and that revolving cast. And
that's how I discovered Nero Wolfe. When my wife and I used to go over to her mother and father's house, she used to do laundry over there. Her mother and I would sit there and watch those Nero Wolfe, and I got really, really interested, and that's what made me decide to go and get one of the novels, and then I was totally hooked.
Yep.
Yeah, Timothy Hutton is just is like really good as Archie Goodwin, and that's usually the key. That they never seem to be able to get a good Archie Goodwin, but he is really good. And I like Maury, whatever his name is.
Maury Chaykin?
Yeah. He kind of, every once in a while he gets a little goofy maybe, but other than that, he's fine. I can accept him. And I love it how it's this sort of nebulous time period that they're in, Yeah, those are
series was the biggest influence for me creating the Lucius Fogg novels.
Is that right? That's cool. Wow.
Because that's when you think about detectives, and this could lead us into a big conversation. There's certain archetypes when you create a detective. You've got your Sherlock Holmes type, which is the super genius with a very obvious flaw. And the relatable character that goes with him to be the kind of the way that the reader can get and connect, because you're not supposed to be able to connect because you're not a super genius.
Right. And that's Nero Wolfe too. Yeah.
Then you have Nero Wolfe is different to me. I think of him as different because with you're still following Sherlock through the eyes of thing. With Nero Wolfe, you're following Archie Goodwin.
Yeah.
So Archie is a real detective, but it's like a companion thing. But Archie is the leg man. He's the one doing the action. He's the action.
Sure.
And so it is a different dynamic in my book.
I will agree with that, especially since Sherlock Holmes has no problem going away from 221B Baker Street. Yeah. As far as them both being super geniuses, and then the other guy is the relatable guy,
right. But then you throw in detectives like the noir detective, your Sam Spade, your force of nature guy, and then you've got your more non-assuming detective like Miss Marple, like Columbo.
Yeah.
So those are the four basic types, and I always wondered if I'm missing one.
Where do you put Hercule Poirot?
Non-assuming.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. I'll agree with that. Yeah. Most of the old radio drama ones are all in the Sam Spade, mode for the most part. Richard Diamond and Boston Blackie and those, I love. Yeah. We talked about that before. I forgot. I'm a big fan of Boston Blackie.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've actually got some of the old lobby cards from when they were doing the serials of those. And,
that's great.
Yeah. But so for me, but those are the four kind of archetype of detectives.
Yeah.
And so when I got asked by a publisher if I could come up with like a chapter book version of a detective. I had just watched those. So I went, okay, I'll use that, but I don't want to copy it. Yeah. So that's where I went into the supernatural. So that's why it's kind of 1950s urban fantasy. That's why my guy can't leave the house either, but for a very different reason.
Right?
Yeah. Nero can leave the house. He just doesn't like to.
Yeah, no, he does, and those are the moments that are super interesting in those books when he has to. Sometimes by choice and sometimes not by choice. And then there's one whole novel where he literally goes back to his home country for the whole novel, the Black Mountain.
You know, that's one of the characters that if I ever got a chance to actually portray him, like in a play, or
you totally could.
I would love to play Nero Wolfe.
Oh my goodness. Yes, you totally could.
I would have so much fun doing that.
Do you like orchids?
Of course, and beer.
And you like to eat, right?
Yep.
Now, if only Nero Wolfe knew how to crochet, then you'd be all set.
Exactly. So, all right, we've gone so far off topic, but I think we're both excited for what's going on with Star Wars.
Yeah, that was a nice 2 days, especially that Friday was just. I went into it hoping for two things. An Ahsoka trailer and the announcement of one feature film, and to get 3 feature films and then all that other TV information.
Yeah,
that was really nice to get that much stuff.
Oh yeah, and then they announced the next day we're going to get more Tales of the Jedi.
Oh yeah, yes.
Season 2 of that, but now I'm kind of curious. He didn't give anything else about that. Are we going to get more of those 2 characters, or is he going to focus on 2 different characters?
I hope it's 2 different characters, honestly. Yeah. I really do, because we're gonna get overloaded with Ahsoka.
Yeah,
I mean, look at it as sort of like that was a lead in to the series, so who knows what else. I mean, it would be nice if maybe it was Mace Windu, or I don't know, any one of those other ones.
Jar Jar.
Yep. But it's Tales of the Jedi.
Oh,
Not Tales of the Jar Jar.
True.
One last thing. I love the little news thing, or that they mentioned that George was on the set of Ahsoka.
Nice.
Yeah, I really, really love that. I love that character means something to him, and I think a lot of people forget that he is the co-creator, of that character. I love that when he first met Rosario in costume, that was very, very cool. I'm so glad. Now they need to get him to direct an episode of something.
When was the last time he directed?
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the man only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies to his. I mean, only I have 0, but he has 6 movies to his credit as a director.
Yeah.
THX 1138, American Graffiti, Star Wars, A New Hope, and then the 3 prequels. As far as I know, he has never actually directed anything other full project.
Yeah. Well, the best part about these new movies coming out and these new series, it's going to make all these horrible, trashy series and movies that we have suddenly better. We can love the prequels and we can love the sequels, and Mandalorian's going to be glorious again.
Yep. Well, Mandalorian will shore up the sequel trilogy, and then the Rey movie will, be the capper on that. So we'll all be good with that. We're almost there with the prequels. If they can redeem Jar Jar somehow, we're just golden with the prequels, because they're doing everything else to make everybody love the prequels.
Okay. Tales of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
One Jedi and one that turns, right?
Okay.
So Baylan, the new guy in the Ahsoka series, is supposed to be a Jedi who's fallen.
Right.
And I'm thinking maybe he was like a temple guard, because they're usually yellow lightsabers, and then he goes bad and his lightsaber gets corrupted. Therefore, it would be orange instead of pure red, the yellow. And then on the good side, Kelleran Beck.
Wow. Mind blown.
I just
Yeah,
thought it was
because you know
totally
what? If
cool.
everybody loves Balin after the Ahsoka series, it would be cool then to say, okay, here's some more. Here's his early days. Yeah, and then God, now see, now I'm going to be disappointed if it's not those two characters, and I'm gonna rail against Lucasfilm.
But they could do anything with them. That's the best part.
Yeah,
There's no lore. There's no legends.
right.
You
No,
know, it's
totally,
just all new storytelling.
totally. Yep.
Yeah. Other than Kelleran has to show up at the temple and help some kids through
Yeah.
the challenge.
Or it's going to be Plo Koon.
I wouldn't mind that. I like Plo Koon.
Or Barriss Offee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of choices there, but I love those two choices. I'm really good with that.
Yeah.
That,
All right,
that
right.
nothing.
We're running long, but thank you all for sticking around. We will be back next week with our 99th episode. Still haven't done anything about our 100th yet, so I need to
Okay.
make some
You need
calls.
to get everybody you can get back that's co-hosted.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
Paul Story, call us.
I'll see what I can do about this. So it's not this Sunday; it's next Sunday. So see
Wait,
what I
is
can
this
do.
99 or is this 98?
This is 98.
Okay.
So next week is 99,
Okay.
and then we'll have 100 coming up.
All right.
So, all right, got Q99 left balloons. Nice. I'll have a filter that just has balloons floating up through the entire episode.
And they said it wouldn't last.
All right, guys. Again, thank you all for tuning in. We will